Hi, good morning and welcome to Live with Joy. I'm going to give it a few moments for everybody to find that post and then we're going to go over what we're doing today. And while we are waiting, I'm just going to go over what we kind of did this week so far. We have done our legs on Monday. We did arms on Tuesday, and we really focused on the quality of the move. So we took those little pauses and we're going to bring that into today's workout as well as we hit that center of the body. Yesterday we did a nice little hump day hit and we really kind of got that intensity up, and it wasn't necessarily about slowing things down, still remaining in control, but really bringing that intensity up. That's what we did yesterday. We're gonna bring it back down into really focusing on that quality and control of the movement today, and we are gonna be focusing on the center, on that core. And I am calling this one 360 degrees of core. I like to call it that because when I think of the core, I like to think of it as an entire unit, not just the abdominals in the front, but all the way around through the sides and the lower back. So we're gonna rotate our position 360 degrees today to hit that center from all those different angles. And you will notice that I'm holding, and I'm gonna come in a little bit closer, okay, one of these stretchy rubber bands today. If you have one of these, go ahead and grab it because we're gonna incorporate it into the workout today. But of course, you absolutely do not need it. I like to show you how to use some of these pieces of equipment that you might have at home and you have no idea how to incorporate it into your workouts. So I'm gonna incorporate it into the core today, and it's gonna help you get deeper into that core workout. Now, if your core is not strong, you are not going to incorporate this in it. You need to start with a fairly decent core strength in order to incorporate this band into your work. It's going to make it harder, okay? You can try it, and if it gets to be too much at any point, just kick it off and do the movements without, okay? Everything without is going to already give you a challenging workout. This is just gonna get deeper into it, okay? So first thing that we're gonna do is warm it up. I'm gonna put this down for a moment next to my mat so it's accessible when I come down, but we'll start to warm it up on our feet. All right, let's stand up nice and tall, get those shoulders down and back, open up that chest, and we're gonna take an inhale up, and an exhale down, reach forward and down to the floor. Let's roll that back up as we come up, inhale up. Exhale, we're gonna fall forward and reach for that floor, hold a moment, and then round up. I really want you to open up that spine as you round up, inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. And hold it up for a moment, and then start to round that back up. We're gonna do two more of those as we inhale up, exhale, and fold forward. Good. Let that body hang for a moment, and roll it up from here. We're gonna go one more time. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward. Let everything hang, and roll yourself all the way up. All right, let's start to take it down to that floor. We're gonna start on all fours, okay? Still warming it up. This is not our work yet. We're still warming it up. What I want you to do here is sit back on your heels and elongate those arms forward, and then I want you to move up from this and back from this. And then as you get a little bit more warmed up, you're going to see if you can manage to bring yourself up, bringing the knees up, and then sitting back and into that child's pose. Good, and just move through both of these, start to get that core activated. Good, keep that chin off that chest. And we're gonna go two more times just like that. And one more time. And sit back on those heels just for a moment right here. Now bring it up on all fours. Make sure that those wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath those hips. From here, tuck that chin in, round that back. And look up, let's hollow it out. And again, chin tucked in around it. Look up and hollow it out. Let's go two more times. Tuck. And look up. And one more time. And look up and take it back to a neutral spine. All right, we are gonna take it right into our circuits. You're gonna watch me. So if you are, let's pick that top set. If you are using the band, and again, you do not have to, but if you are, it is going to come onto your feet. You're going to keep your feet flexed to make sure that it stays in there. If you start to point your toes, that band is going to come off. If you don't have that band, you're just going to come into the same position here without having a band on your legs, okay? We're going to come down
And we're gonna start with our first circuit, elongating those arms. Those feet and those legs are gonna stay right where they are. And from here, we're gonna elongate those arms, lift the shoulders up, slight tuck into the chin, look at the feet, and engage that center. You're gonna wanna take that little pause there, and from that pause, lower all the way back down, okay? That's gonna be your first move. Then we're gonna take those arms at our side, and we're gonna focus on bringing one knee in at a time from that straight leg. Now, if you have that band, you're gonna have something to pull against. If you don't, you're just bringing that knee in without having any resistance to pull against. And then your final move, we're gonna put it together. So we're gonna bring a knee in, and we're gonna lift those shoulders up, and that's gonna be circuit number one. So you're gonna do each one of those 4 times. Just the upper, just the lower, together 4 times, okay? So let's get in position with those arms back. First, you are just going to lift the shoulders up and come back. Legs are staying right where they are in 2 and 1. So you've got 30 seconds, and you've got 5 seconds in between to get yourself ready for that next move. So right now, we're just thinking about those upper abs, and you're holding again for about 2 or 3 seconds, okay? Really thinking about that quality of the move, engaging, tightening that stomach, and then lowering back down, and really lengthening out with those arms as you come back. Find your breath in that movement as well. Get your last one in, and then from here, you can release those hands down to the side. Let that head and neck rest as you draw one knee in at a time from a straight leg. Okay, so with or without that resistance, you don't have to have that resistance, and you're just pulling one knee in at a time. You might find if you're using the resistance that it's too much. Take it off, put it to the side, and go ahead and work without it. Right here, we'll get you a little bit extra in those hip flexors all the way through those lower abs and that internal core. Good, you're gonna get that last one in. Good, hold, take it back, extend and lengthen those arms. Now you're going at the same time, pull one knee in, lift the shoulders, hold a moment, and lower down. Once again, try to really hold that activated core for a moment, and then release. Good, and release, extend and lengthen those arms. You're gonna keep those legs right where they are. We're going back to just the upper movement by lifting and holding here, feeling that activation and lowering down, lengthening behind you. You can take as much of a rest in between these as you need with that lengthening back of those arms. Good, hold, pause, and then return. Good, we're gonna take those arms at your side, head and neck staying where they are now, and just that knee coming in, hold a moment, and then extend and lengthen it all the way back into that floor. Get that nice full extension. Good, alternate and release. Get those arms behind you, getting set to move both at the same time. Right here, one knee comes in, we come up, we activate, we hold, and we release back down. Get that last one in. And release, going back to set number 3. And just those upper abs, holding, activating, and releasing down, lengthening those arms behind you. So take your time in between each one. You do not have to rush these. This is not high intensity. This is really about our quality, our control, our activation, really feeling those abs at work today. Good, one more time. Bring the arms down to the side, get that head and neck rested, shoulders flat to that floor. And right here, pulling one knee at a time. And again, holding for a moment, and then releasing. Good, we got one. Another set after we finish this, both arms and legs moving at the same time, and then one more set of everything to finish it up right here. Good, take those arms back, lengthen. You got one more time here. Keep those legs in a solid position. Right here, hold, feel that tightness, and lower down. Really think about that contraction. This is how you form those abs right here. Good, let those arms come to the side, get a solid position in that upper body, and pull through the lower. Hold. Good, get that last one in. Release, get the arms back in position one more time at the same time. Shoulders come up, one knee comes in, and take it back. Good, focusing on pulling that knee in. Good, that last one in, and relax. Good, hug those knees in, take a moment right here. Now we're going to take those knees bent in a bent position, and the toes are up, heels are down. Our first exercise, we're gonna get those arms back, they're no longer extended, and we're gonna work those crunches again, but now from bent arms, elbows back, okay? There's no momentum with those arms pulling you up. Really think about those abs activating. Then we'll let that head rest as we lift both legs up at the same time. If you have that band's gonna force you to keep those feet in alignment. So give a little bit of tension on that band. And then our last one is gonna come up at the same time. Get that activation with both and lower down. As you bring the knees in, think about engaging the lower part of those abs, okay? So right now we're gonna have our heels on the floor, toes up, fingertips behind the ears, but I want those arms back. Do you want the elbows from touching the floor right now? From here, I want you to look straight up at that ceiling and lift those shoulders up and off of the ground, engaging, holding, and then release. 30 seconds right there. We are now in our next circuit, and we're getting deeper into those upper and lower abs here. Then we're gonna move on to those obliques, and then we'll change our position. Right here, really think about it. No more are we using any kind of momentum. We're really thinking about lifting, keeping those elbows back. Make sure that you're not trying to fold in or tuck the chin in with those elbows. They stay out the entire time. And you're really thinking about lifting with this part, the upper part of your abs, not with your head or your neck. So take your time. You got 15 more seconds. Clock is not going, so I'm going to count it out, and then I'm going to take you to that next one. All right, go for 5 more seconds right here. Activate. Last 3, 2, and relax that head down. Now that head and neck is gonna rest, And right from here, it's all about driving the knees into the chest. Hold there a moment. So I want you to think about activating those lower abs and gently and easily bring those heels back to the floor. Now, if you don't have that band and you would like to just bring one knee in at a time from that bent position, that is fine. Obviously, both legs coming up at the same time, gonna activate more of those lower abs. So if you can, trying to keep those knees back 90 degrees and driving right in there and release. Good, get those elbows back, get ready to bring both up at the same time. So we lift those shoulders up, we drive those knees in, we hold there for a moment, and then we release it back down. Find that control, everything coming up together and lower down. Good, get those arms back, make sure the elbows aren't coming in, and we're back to just focusing on lifting, holding, breathing, and lower back down. So again, really think about every movement. You've got to slow it down once in a while and really focus on the movement that's happening. That is what we're trying to do here. Really think about it, really activate it, really breathe through it. Find your breath with that movement, with that hold. Right here, just the knees coming in. Think about the lower abs, so really try to get the energy in the thought process of what it is that's contracting, what it is that's holding, what it is that's moving you in and out of that movement. Good, get that last one in and release. Relax a moment, open up those elbows, and from here, lift and hold and release. It's not always the funnest to slow things down and really think about what we're doing, but it is really effective in strengthening up those muscles. So kind of important to do this rather than always be fast and short with things. Really think about it. Bring those knees in, putting a little thought behind what it is that you're doing, how to control it and move through it, and pause it when you need to, and start it when you're ready. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just quickly move through things. A lot of times when I'm with my clients, I tell them, slow down. You're still gonna do as many as you're gonna do. Yeah, it might get you there faster, but that's not what you want to do. Not all the time, it depends on the workout that you're doing. If your goal that day is high intensity, then yes, you might want to be working speed and you might be wanting to go faster. But if you are really thinking about building strength, you gotta slow things down and really think about the moves that you're doing. All right, one more set, guys. Hold here, keeping those heels on the floor, and right here focusing on just those abs. Hopefully you're really starting to feel those abs at work now. Fatigue setting in a little bit. Good, relax, let the head and the neck relax. And from here, we are gonna drive those knees in. Think about those lower abs contracting and driving that movement of those knees coming up and those heels coming back to that floor. And relax, get ready for your double movement. And then we're moving on. We're gonna stay in this position for one more circuit before we start to rotate our bodies out and hit that core from some other angles. Good. Let's relax. Extend your arms and legs. Get a little bit of a breather right there. And watch me because it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get harder. We're going to start to work those obliques now. So what we're going to wind up doing is bring our feet up here, okay? Now, if you can't hold them up here, you're just going to keep them down, at least for that first move, okay? And I'll show you some options. If you can, you're going to automatically have to engage those abs to stay in this position. We're going to open up, and now we're going to rotate and work those obliques. So every time we're going to rotate into it, coming all the way down in between each one, okay? Then we're going to hold here, keeping the legs right where they are. We're going to extend and push away as the other one is holding and locking that other leg in position. And then exchange, okay? With or without the band, you don't have to have that band, but I want you to hold there for a moment. And then we're gonna rotate into the bent knee as we extend the other one out. Take it back to the center and over to the other side. So you see how slow and controlled I'm going there? Now option, if you cannot keep those legs up, you'll stay here for the crosses. You'll go for one knee at a time instead. And then when you cross it over, that one knee comes up and that other knee comes up, okay? If you are going with the full out, legs up, you're right here, 90 degrees bent. Open up that chest and start to rotate with your one shoulder up and rotating into it. So now you're gonna start to have those obliques working with those upper and those lower abs and that internal core. We're holding those knees in position. If you need a break at any time, go ahead and hug your knees in, take a break. I suggest during those 5 seconds that you hug those knees in so that they come out of this position because they need to be here for the entire time, which is a lot of time to be here. So right here, I'm gonna hug my knees in. I'm gonna take a little moment right here, bring them back in position, and I'm gonna extend, lengthen, and hold, bring it in, and then push the other one out. I'm not trying to get a million of these in during that time. I am trying to work on quality, not quantity of my movement. Good. Hug everything in, and then we're going to go for both of them. So right here, we're going to rotate into that bent knee, extend the other one, hold a moment. Everything comes back to the center, and then you switch and hold on the other side. Good, hug everything in, and we're gonna go back to just the obliques. Just those upper obliques right here, holding back to the center. So once again, if you need to have a break of those legs, this is a perfect time to let them come down and rest. And you can do your oblique work right here with those feet on the floor if you need to, rather than staying up here. Good. Hug everything in. Take a little bit of a moment. Good. Point those toes if you need. Come back to position. And lengthen, extend. Come on in. Lengthen and extend. Hug it in. And now we're going for both right here. Rotate into the knee, extend that leg. We come back to the center and over to the other side. You're gonna notice that, especially if you're using that band, you gotta stay right where you are, that your ankles are starting to hurt, right? While you're working those shins to keep those feet flexed up and against that resistance band. So you are gonna feel it there as well. You've got other muscles that are working. Remember how I know we focus on certain things, but that doesn't mean that other muscles aren't working. Okay, let's get back into that position here. Again, if you want to place those heels down, go ahead, cross over. Make sure that you get that little pause at the top. You guys stay right there. I want it to come up and see how you guys are doing. Hang in there, good, you got it. Rotate into it, get that hold. Come back to the center, rotate to the other side, get that hold. You got it. Coming on those last 3 seconds. 2 and 1. All right, relax the head and the neck. And we're extending and lengthening right here. Good, start to hug everything in, point those toes if you want to get them out of that flex state. And once again, back in position. Rotate into it, hold. Back to the center. Good, hug in, and we got just one more set here, and we are gonna change positions and take the band in another position as well. Right here, we're gonna rotate, and again, if you need to place those feet on the floor while you work these oblique crunches, go ahead, rest that position. Good, hug it in. Get ready to push those legs out. Upper body stays rested. And right here, push and extend, pull to the other knee holding or staying in position with or without that band as the other one extends and lengthens out. Wherever you can hold and maintain it. Good, hug it in, and again, point the toes to get it out of that flex state. And then activate, back in position, rotate and hold, center, rotate and hold, and back to that center. And relax, good, hug in, point those toes, take a little moment. Now, if you're gonna use the band for the next one, it's gonna come above the knees so you can get it off of those feet, okay? And this is with or without the band. Once again, you do not need to have that band. We're gonna start here just kind of rested on our hand, and we're gonna stay completely lowered down on our side. So see, we're rotating and we're taking the position from our side. Right from here, we're gonna bring the elbow into the knee. Make sure that right here, just a little press in with that knee to the elbow, keeping everything in this kind of solid ground. Then we're gonna lift up onto that forearm, and we're gonna go for a lift right here. Now, if we can, we're gonna keep our arm right here, and then on our final one, we're gonna put it together where we come up here, bring the elbow to the knee, and lower back down. Okay, if you're uncomfortable doing it from up here, you can do it from down here, and then get that lift in between each one, okay? And for this one, we'll be rotating sides, so you do not have to do each side 4 times. We'll do each side 2 times, okay? So we're gonna start by laying down here so we don't have to be in this position the entire time. This is where we're gonna start just bringing that elbow into the knee. You can get a little extension and lengthening back if you want to on that move, so you can really lengthen out of it. So get set in your position, and go. You're on that clock for your first set right here, and then we'll right away change sides between each set of all 3 of these moves. Okay, so our first one right here down, just getting that movement here between that elbow and that knee. Good, using that side to bring everything in together. But we don't have to move that head or neck at all, just keep that in one position. Now we're gonna pop up onto the forearm, keep that top leg extended. We're gonna take that hand up here and lift. And lift. So remember, we'll change this position so you're not gonna have to stay here for another set back to back. Think about activating, think about holding that position and lowering down from that nice stop, okay? Good, and if you need a little moment here, you can stretch it out, pull it back up, and then we're gonna lift, bring the elbow to the knee, and lower it back down if you can. We got that pause here if you can, and then lower down. Slow and controlled. And release. We're gonna flip it over to the other side, and we're starting completely down. Lengthen the arm here. Elbow into the knee. Good, get that kind of pause. You might feel that fatigue from working that side plank and the other side already, even in this movement. Good, we're gonna pop it up here. Top leg is extended. Hand right here if you can. Lift into that side plank hold. Now, one other thing that you could do if you need some assistance is place that hand on the floor. So if you've noticed you're struggling to lift up, you can do that. And even when you bring the knee in, you can do it this way instead of using that arm up here, okay? So just some options there for you if you're not quite ready to be on just that one arm. Good, and again, if you want to get a little stretch, you got 5 seconds, come back up into position, and again, hold it up, draw it in, hold a moment, take it here and back down. If you need to do it here, and then take that lift up, and if you need to have that hand down, knee in, and then you can lift, okay? So find that movement that works for you. I'm gonna come here and combine it with my hold as I side crunch from that side plank position. Good, and we're gonna flip it. So we're back to that other side. You're gonna really start to feel that fatigue set in right here. Let's lengthen that arm for the first set when we are completely down on that floor. And you might feel those hips at work here. They're assisting, they're moving through this movement with the core as well. Good, all right, let's take it up. And if you need to keep that hand here, by all means go ahead. Here if you can, lifting and holding for a few moments and then lowering down, really taking that time here. And this is gonna be your last time on this side. Good, get that last one in. And once again, if you need that little stretch of that shoulder right here, and then back up, hand on the floor or up here, lifted, or again, lifting lower and do your pull from here instead of up here in your side plank position. So you'll have to see how you can manage it. Especially in set number 3 where everything is starting to fatigue out. So you might have to change your movement patterns and do it a little bit differently. Good, and we're going to our last set, finishing it on the other side. So all the way down first from that lengthened state, elbow coming in towards that leg coming in towards that elbow. Good, get that last one in. We're gonna pop it up onto that forearm. Top leg stays extended. Hand down if you need the assistance. Hands up here if you can manage to lift and hold in a nice strong side plank position without that assistance. Good, if you need, get that last one in, then get that stretch of that arm if you need to. Back up in position, hand down or up, lift, or again, you can lower down and do your side crunch movement from down here rather than up in that side plank. So see how you feel. And again, control it. Hold, hold, release, and release. Good, all right, we've got just one more circuit left, guys. We're gonna take that band, if you're using it, back to your feet, but we're taking a new position, which is going to be right here, okay? Now, you're gonna have a couple of options here. You can do your child's pose into that plank where we were with our warm-up. If you can, I want you to be here, separate your feet a little bit, and we're gonna do dynamic dolphin, pushing those hips up towards the ceiling, pressing those heels down, and then coming back into that plank position. So we look like this, okay? Then we're gonna come down on all fours. You want those hips, the knees underneath the hips, and the arms, or wrists rather, underneath the shoulders. And we're gonna go for our opposite arm and leg extension, bird dog if you call it. Thumb up, extend the leg back. Now see, with that band, I've got to really push through that resistance, but you don't have to have that band. We've done that plenty of times without the band. So child's pose to plank with that dynamic dolphin, pushing the hips up into that down dog and back into that plank, okay? Get yourself set in position. 3, 2, this is your last and final circuit. Go, you are on that clock right here. So I'm gonna go from that plank position. Okay, if that's too much, we're going child's pose to plank. Here we go from plank up into down dog. And we're working that internal core, that lower back with these moves. To finish it out, getting 360 degrees of that core movement, positioning, and hitting from all those different angles. We're gonna bend the knees. Oh, and when we put it together, we're just doing one of each. I didn't show you that, but that's okay. We're just gonna do one dynamic dolphin, and then we're gonna do one on each side of these bird dogs, okay? So you're just gonna alternate those moves, doing one at a time. Within that time frame, you're combining it, okay? So right here, we're just focusing on the bird dog, and then in our next 30 seconds, we're gonna have one of each, pushing up into that dynamic dolphin, that down dog, coming back into all fours, and then one on each side right here, okay? So I'll show you what I mean. Plank into that here, come back into that plank, drop the knees, and then we're gonna extend and extend. All right, there you go. Push it up into that plank, lift, come back down, drop the knees. So you've got to kind of move through it. Now again, once again, if you're not doing that dynamic dolphin into the down dog, you're coming into child's pose, and then popping up onto all fours and pushing it out, okay? So you don't even have to come to that plank if you don't want to. All right, get ready. We're gonna either do child's pose to plank, or from that plank, up into that dynamic dolphin, movement from plank to down dog. Good, on all fours right here, into your bird dog, or what you can also call your opposite arm and leg extension from your tabletop position right here. Good, take that pause. Good, force yourself to balance on that pose right there. And get ready, we're going into our combo move. So once again, if you're in child's pose, okay, you can come up into that plank, all fours, and then, or you can just come right to all fours. If you're doing that dynamic dolphin, you want to come into plank, up into down dog, back to plank, drop to your knees, and right here for that bird dog. One on each side so you don't miss any sides. Make sure we get it in. Press it up, back down, and right here. Good, take a moment sitting back on your heels if you need. And once again, child's pose to plank, or plank to down dog. Good, get that nice moment there, right? Good, finishing up your last one, coming onto all fours, getting everything underneath, and extending and lengthening. Good, if you're using that resistance, it might be getting harder to extend that leg out. Keep working through it the best you can, or get rid of that resistance and work without it. All right, last and final set. Down dog to that plank, or plank, child's pose to that plank, or plank to down dog. And you're gonna feel the upper body needing to be strong for this as well. So again, we are working core, but other things get involved throughout that core movement and that core focus exercise. Doesn't mean the other muscles aren't kicking in to help. On all fours, and right here, extending, lengthen, hold and pause. Look straight down at that floor. Make sure you're not tucking that chin in, or you're not trying to look up either. Straight down in between those hands. Feel that glute activation with every extension. Good. All right, get ready. We're putting it together. Down dog to plank, and then your bird dog, or up into that down dog, or that child's pose into your plank, to your knees, extend and lengthen. Good. Push up into your plank, sit back on your heels, or come up into that down dog, to your knees, And right here. And you can kick that band off if you haven't. You are all done. Oh, looks like I missed something. All right, that's okay. That's okay, guys. Let's sit back on those heels. Time is still going, so I probably missed one of those things, but that's okay. You definitely got plenty of work in, especially because we have those combo moves. Those combo moves kind of incorporate everything on that third set. So you still got enough. Bring it here, come onto all fours, and let's go back to that cat-cow, tucking that chin in, rounding that spine, and then looking up and hollowing it out. Tuck it in and round. Look up and hollow. 2 more times. Tuck it in and round. Look up and hollow. 1 more time, tuck it round. Look up and hollow it out. Good, and let's sit back on those heels 1 more time. Walk those hands forward right here, and then we're gonna get a stretch by taking it out to the side. So let's lift that head up off of that mat. Walk one hand outside the mat, take the other one on top of that handle as close as you can get to it. Feel that stretch in the side of your body. Good. Hold and breathe. And take it back to the center and over to the other side. Take one hand outside that mat, other hand on top of that hand or as close as you can get to it. Press your body down and really feel that stretch. And walk it back to the center. Come on to all fours. Curl those toes under. Walk those hands in towards the toes. Elongate those legs up. Let the arms hang, and then let's roll ourselves all the way up. And once we come up, roll those shoulders back, face the front, separate the feet. Take the hands on the thighs, hinge forward with a nice flat back and hold. Roll it up halfway, stretch that spine. And then flatten that back down and roll it all the way up, allowing that head to come up last. Once you do, roll the shoulders back and take 2 deep breaths in right here to finish it out. And exhale. 1 more time in. And exhale, and you are all done. Fantastic work today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me to really have quality and control of that core. Super important. So thank you for slowing it down with me today and really thinking about the movement that was happening and the activation of that center all the way around 360 degrees. Tomorrow, our last and final day of the week on Friday, will be our 9:30 start time virtually as well as on location. So if you would like to join me on location, make sure that you register for that class at the MIYJCC.org. I will be there outdoors if weather's permitting. If not, I'll invite anybody who wants to come in and do it with me, okay? With masks on, of course. Tomorrow will be, so you know, and you can plan ahead, will be full body strength. So we'll do upper and lower body all in the same class. We will still be focusing on our strength, our quality, our control, but we will do it in a full body way, but slowing it down, not like our high intensity interval day, okay? So awesome job today, guys. Thank you again for joining me. And once again, if you enjoyed this and you want to come back to it and do it again, save it, share it, or come back to this page, click on videos, and it will be there for you anytime that you'd like to do it. Thank you again. I will see you tomorrow, 9:30 start time for our final day of the week. Bye-bye, guys.